Osborne from the Nine Maidens on Flying Fish. We heard variations on My Lady Carrie's Dump. You're listening to Public Radio for New Hampshire, WEVO FM 89 in Concord. I'm sitting in Studio A with Sweetbrier, Marisa Merewood, and
Hello.
Diana Sargent.
Hi.
Hi, welcome.
Thank you.
Sweetbrier is going to be singing some songs, talking a little about their music tonight. What are we going to hear first?
We're going to start with Me Husband's Got No Courage in Him, which was a song by the Silly Sisters, June Tabor and Maddie Pryor. And this is the song that inspired us.
It's the first song we decided to have a go at.
Yeah, and as I walked out one May morning to view the fields and the leaves of springin', I saw two maidens standing by, and one of them her hands was wringin'. Oh dear oh, oh dear oh, me husband's got no courage in him. Oh dear oh. All sorts of victuals I did provide, all sorts of meats that's fittin' for him, with oyster pie and rhubarb too, but nothing will put courage in him. Oh dear oh, oh dear oh, me husband's got no courage in him. Oh dear oh, me husband can dance and caper and sing, and do anything that's fittin' for him, but he cannot do the thing I want, because he's got no courage in him. Oh dear oh, oh dear oh, me husband's got no courage in him. Oh dear oh. Me husband's admired wherever he goes, and everyone looks well upon him, with his handsome features and well-shaped leg, but still he's got no courage in him. Oh dear oh, oh dear oh, me husband's got no courage in him. Oh dear oh. Every night when I go to bed, I lie and throw me leg right o'er him. Me and I clap between his thighs, but I can't put any courage in him. Oh dear oh, oh dear oh, me husband's got no courage in him. Oh dear oh. 7 long years I've made his bed, and every night I've lain beside him, but this morning I rose with me maidenhead, and still he's got no courage in him. Oh dear oh, oh dear oh, me husband's got no courage in him. Oh dear oh, I wish me husband he was dead, and in his grave I'd quickly lay him, and then I'd try another one that's got a little courage in him. Oh dear oh, oh dear oh, me husband's got no courage in him. Oh dear oh.
That's great. You two really sing from the gut. The way I've heard a lot of Balkan singers sing that way. And I'm wondering, what's your background in singing?
Well, you're the one who has music background. My background is mostly from acting, so I suppose it's the hit the back of the theater training that comes in there.
Oh, yes, the enunciation from acting, that you have to go to the back of the room is good. Especially our first priority is to get the words out, because we're singing a cappella. So the consonants, we did a lot of work just going through the lyrics and knowing exactly where we were going to breathe, where the consonants were going to end and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had some singing background. We first got together because of a theater group in Wilton, the Musical Theater of Wilton. A man named David Stein writes original musicals, and we've performed with them for 2 years.
The first occasion we sang together was last year's production of Alibaba.
Yes,
so that was
and
what got us singing together in the first place. And we thought,
and
well,
so
let's try this.
Since then, we started with me husband, and then we gradually added more and more, and we go and listen to different people singing in the area. We like to frequent a pub in Nashua that has wonderful, wonderful Irish music.
Which pub is that?
Kathleen Houlihan's in downtown Nashua.
On
Is that Canal Street?
Yeah.
What is your background before the musical theater of Wilton? You come to it with an acting background.
I studied acting in New York, and I studied acting in Pennsylvania, and I have worked as an actor puppeteer. We also use puppetry with ballads. So we've interpreted One Misty Moisty Morning, and While Gamekeepers Lie Sleepin'. And
Marisa does a wonderful job with puppets.
You're listening to the first radio puppet show, folks.
No. Edgar Bergen came before me. Edgar Bergen can do it.
You can hear their little feet in the background.
Why don't you do another one?
Okay, we're going to do The Cruel Sister. This is one we recently learned, and we extracted from the Oxford Book of Ballads. It was a melody, an old melody. And
I think it's one of the oldest recorded.
And it's very sad about two sisters, and one, the eldest, who envies her younger sister and ends up killing her, and a harper comes and... Let's we'll sing. And There were two sisters sat in a bar, oh Binori, oh Binori. There came a knight to be their ward by the bonny Meldams of Binori. He courted the eldest with glove and ring, oh Binori, oh Binori. But he loved the youngest above anything by the bonny Meldams of Binori. The eldest she envied her sister fair, oh Binori, oh Binori. With her rosy cheeks and golden hair by the bonny Meldams of Binori. She took her by the lily hand, oh Binori, oh Binori. And led her down to the river strand by the bonny Meldams of Binori. The youngest stood upon a stone, oh Binori, oh Binori. The eldest came and pushed her in by the bonny Meldams of Binori. Oh, sister, sister, reach your hand, and ye shall be heir of half my land.
Oh, sister, I'll not reach my hand, and I'll be heir of all your land.
Oh, sister, reach me but your glove, and sweet William shall be your love.
Sink on nor hope for hand nor glove, and sweet William shall better be my love.
Sometimes she sank and sometimes she swam, oh Binori, oh Binori, until she drowned in the miller's dam by the bonny Meldams of Binori. A famous harper passing by, oh Binori, oh Binori. The sweet pale face he chanced to spy by the bonny Meldams of Binori. He made a harp of her breastbone, oh Binori, oh Binori, whose sounds would melt a heart of stone by the bonny Meldams of Binori. The strings he framed of her golden hair, oh Binori, oh Binori, whose notes made sad the listening ear by the bonny Meldams of Binori. He brought it to her father's hall, oh Binori, oh Binori, and there was the court assembled all by the bonny Meldams of Binori. He laid his harp upon a stone, oh Binori, oh Binori, and straight it began to play alone by the bonny Meldams of Binori. Oh, yonder sits sits my father the king, and yonder sits my mother the queen, and yonder stands my brother Hugh, and by him my William sweet and true. But the last tune that the harp played then, O Binori, was woe to my sister, false Helen, by the bonny mill dams of Binori.
Your harmonies are so right on.
Thank you.
Do you ever go off key?
Oh,
Many
worry
hours.
about
Necessity.
Did we sing that verse?
For me, I know that's my biggest fear is forgetting the lyrics. You know, what is the next verse?
You can't exactly vamp like you could on a
Yes.
guitar or something.
Oh, and with two of us singing the same thing at the
If we
same
get
time, one word,
off,
everybody goes,
it's,
aha.
Do you find certain advantages or disadvantages to being an a cappella group? There aren't very many a cappella folk groups around.
I think it's being able to emphasize the storyline, the drama of the words more than, because it is what people will notice.
Yes, to bring out that aspect of it is a different kind of leaning, a different kind of view, gives people a different view on the music, and it's nice to be able to harmonize things differently. A melody that we've heard from someone else playing, we don't want to do a cover version of their version. We want to do something different. In some cases, it means creating new chords and harmonies, and it throws a whole new mood into it, perhaps, you know. And
So-
people will still recognize it, but they'll see the difference.
So singing a cappella frees you up.
Oh, yes, yes.
It's a different interpretation.
Yeah.
We'd like to sing next Mattie Groves, which I think is a good example of. I learned it from Fairport, and we think where we've gone with it is.
Yeah,
just a different direction.
Folk process.
It's
that work.
almost Gregorian because there are a lot of parallel fifths, so it brings back that era, that time in the mind, because people, having heard Gregorian, tend to associate a certain era with that. So when we sing this, that era is brought back, I think, I hope.
Do you want to talk a little bit about what do you mean by Gregorian for people who may not be familiar?
Yes, well, the old music of the Catholic Church, the music that started the whole progression to where we are now, and it consisted of a single melody line with a melody above it that went a parallel fifth above, and it sounds very eerie. It has a kind of ghost-like quality to it, very church-like. So,
Well, I'm looking forward to hearing this.
okay, this is Mattie Groves. A holiday, and the first one of the year. Lord Darnell's wife came into the church, the gospel for to hear. And when the meeting it was done, she cast her eyes about, and there she saw little Mattie Groves a-walking in the crowd. Come home with me, little Mattie Groves, come home with me tonight. Come home with me, little Mattie Groves, and sleep with me till light. Oh, I can't come home, I won't come home, and sleep with you tonight. By the rings on your fingers I can tell you are Lord Darnell's wife. What if I am Lord Darnell's wife? Lord Darnell's not at home. He is out in the far cornfields bringing the yearlings home. A servant who was standing by on hearing what was said, he swore Lord Darnell he would know before the sun would set. And in his hurry to carry the news, he bent his breast and ran. And when he came to the broad mill stream, he took off his shoes and swam. Little Mattie Groves, he lay down and took a little sleep. When he awoke, Lord Darnell was standing at his feet, saying, how do you like my feather bed, and how do you like my sheets? How do you like my lady who lies in your arms asleep? Oh, well, I like your feather bed, and well, I like your sheets, but better I like your Lady Gay, who lies in my arms asleep. Well, get up, Lord Darnell cried, get up as quick as you can. It'll never be said in Faring Glen that I slew a naked man. Oh, I can't get up, I won't get up, I can't get up for my life, for you have two broad beaten swords, and I've not a pocket knife. Well, it's true, I have two beaten swords, and they cost me deep in the purse, but you will have the better of them, and I will have the worse. And you will strike the very first blow, and strike it like a man. I will strike the very next blow, and I'll kill you if I can. So Matty struck the very first blow, and he hurt Lord Darnell sore. Lord Darnell struck the very next blow, and Matty struck no more. And then Lord Darnell, he took his wife, and he sat her on his knee, saying, who do you like the best of us, Matty Groves or me? And then up spoke his own dear wife, never heard to speak so free. I'd rather a kiss from dead Matty's lips than you and your finery. Lord Darnell, he jumped up and loudly he did bawl. He struck his wife right through the heart, and he pinned her against the wall. A grave, Lord Darnell cried, to put these lovers in, but bury my lady at the top, for she was of noble kin.
You're listening to Sweetbrier on WEVO. This is the Folk Show. I'm your host tonight, Patrick Hornig, and in Studio A, Marisa Merewood and Diana Sargent. That song, Matty Groves, I first heard on an early Joan Baez album that my older sister handed down to me, and
I never heard her do it.
On a concert album with guitar. And
what did it sound like? How was it different? Do you recall, as far as mood?
There's such drama in that song. It's like a soap opera, that song.
Maybe I can dig it out of the library if it's here and put it on later on. You'll be helping us out with some of the programming after this, playing some of some of your favorite records. Who do you listen to? Who?
All sorts of people. Obviously, we were partial to the Silly Sisters and the Steel Ice Band.
Steel
Fairport,
Ice Band is
Pentangle.
Yeah, Planksty.
Yes.
Robin Williamson.
Magical Strings. Sean Davey. All sorts of people. Christy Moore. we have.
Yes, and I listen also to classical. I love all kinds of music. I hope that we can incorporate some other styles.
We are trying
international
to
and
branch out a bit. Yeah.
Tell me, what's the significance of your name?
Well.
Sweetbrier is another name for eglantine, which is a kind of rose, and it has 5 petals, and they're in pink and purple and different beautiful colors. And we were looking
Kate Greenaway's the meanings of flowers.
Yeah, we looked at lots of flower
something
books
nice and botanical.
And finally we agreed on something. It wasn't difficult because we liked the kind of aura about the name, the peaceful.
Had the right.
Yeah.
It felt right.
We didn't want to use rose or anything. We wanted to be
the
folksy.
the Kate Greenaway meaning of Sweetbrier was I wound to heal. That's what it was.
Yes, yeah.
Where can people hear Sweetbrier?
We will be doing the Folkways open stage on Wednesday, 15th of July. And we will be singing as part of a Society for Creative Anachronism event at Littleton, New Hampshire on the 18th. So that's Saturday, the 18th of July.
In the afternoon sometime?
It would be running from 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock. And this is part of Littleton's bicentennial celebration. So.
Okay, I'll ask you for those dates again later on.
Okay.
Any listeners who want to contact the duo, who might be interested in reaching them, can call the station here during records, please, during the music a little later at 228-8910. Well, where are we going now?
We're going to do Maids When You're Young, Never
Yes.
Wed an Old Man.
A bit of advice to any single young women who may be listening.
But no offense intended.
man came courting me, hey, ding-dorum-da. An old man came courting me, me being young. An old man came courting me, talks of supporting me. Maids, when you're young, never wed an old man, because he's got no fallorum, fa little fallorum, yeah. He's got no fallorum, fa little fa la hey. He's got no fallorum, he's lost his ding-dorum, yeah. Maids, when you're young, never wed an old man. When we went to church, hey, ding-dorum-da. When we went to church, me being young. When we went to church, he left me in the lurch. Maids, when you're young, never wed an old man, because he's got no fallorum, fa little fallorum, yeah. He's got no fallorum, fa little fa la hey. He's got no fallorum, he's lost his ding-dorum, yeah. Maids, when you're young, never wed an old man. When we sat down to tea, hey, ding-dorum-da. When we sat down to tea, me being young. When we sat down to tea, he started teasing me. Maids, when you're young, never wed an old man, because he's got no fallorum, fa little fallorum, yeah. He's got no fallorum, fa little fa la hey. He's got no fallorum, he's lost his ding-dorum, yeah. Maids, when you're young, never wed an old man. When we went to bed, hey, ding-dorum-da. When we went to bed, me being young. When we went to bed, he lay like he was dead. Maids, when you're young, never wed an old man, because he's got no fallorum, fa little fallorum, yeah. He's got no fallorum, fa little fa la hey. He's got no fallorum, he's lost his ding-dorum, yeah. Maids, when you're young, never wed an old man. I threw me leg over him, hey, ding-dorum-da. I threw me leg over him, me being young. I threw me leg over him, bloody near smothered him. Maids, when you're young, never wed an old man, because he's got no fallorum, fa little fallorum, yeah. He's got no fallorum, fa little fa la hey. He's got no fallorum, he's lost his ding-dorum, yeah. Maids, when you're young, never wed an old man. When he went to sleep, hey, ding-dorum-da. When he went to sleep, me being young. When he went to sleep, out of bed I did creep into the arms of me handsome young man. And he's got fallorum, fa little fallorum, yeah. He's got fallorum, fa little fa la hey. He's got fallorum, he's found my ding-dorum, yeah. Maids, when you're young, never wed an old man.
Well, I think that proves that before radio was invented that they already had the 7 words that you couldn't say on radio. Okay, Sweetbrier here on New Hampshire Public Radio. And programming on New Hampshire Public Radio is made possible in part